Honorable Dr Aka Amuam, a reputable Cameroonian international football referee of the 80s, gave soccer lovers in the country proper value for their time and money with his spectacular displays and respect for the rules of the game during football matches. He trained as a referee and karate expert in Germany as a student, and on his return home, he was admitted into the referees corps by the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT. The early part of his career was marked by Spectator hostility, which was rife in many areas at the time in the country. Aka Amuam goes down memory lane with his experience in crowd hostility.
So, sir, during your career, there were some of these very rough areas where many referees refused to go because of the attitude of the supporters in those areas. You talk of Bafang, Racing, Unisport, Federal. What was one of your memorable experiences in those areas?
Before I come straight to that, specifically to that point, let me among those places where referees dreaded was Obala. Where was Kazan Obala? There was food in a calling. But those guys, whether you did well or didn't do well, they will beat you up at the end of it. Some people were gifted in beating referees, and then our referees too were weak. I asked them to come and join the karate club. They were not. Until when they saw that, they would slap them and then beat them up. That's when they started telling me what do we do. So let me come back to your question now. There was this match, Bafang against Bangante. Bangante, that was their team, Zumante, in that day. Unisport Bafang. And then I remember very well, Mr. Jonke Bonaventure was the coach and player of Bafang for that match. I remember. Before the match, Mr. Jomo, you will not believe this, there are already spots of fighting around the field. What for we don't, there's already fight among them, those local derbies. On a Sunday, the field is packed full, and around the place, there are already fights. Spectators fighting each other, whereas the match did not begin. When they saw me coming into the field, this one was particularly in Bangante. As I was coming to the field, some spectators met me at the door and said, just try. If Bangante loses this match, we'll see where you will pass. As you're going in, go and try. And then someone say, this Anglo fool. Try, you do it, we'll kick you out, you go and do it in Bamina or in West Cameroon. I didn't answer them. What I tried to do as a referee was respect the regulations, rules and results of the match, and try to be just. You couldn't be perfect, but I did everything to be just, to satisfy the teams, legally and also otherwise, psychological of the match. So the match started. We're playing very well. Bangante scored, the first goal. At that time, when a team scores, the whole population will go into the field to embrace the players. Because there's no fence, and then security, the policemen were powerless. You cannot stop the player. Only 2-3 policemen at a time, you will do what? So they will rush into the field to embrace the players until when they're satisfied, they go back out. So the referee, you have got to be tactful. Don't annoy them. Don't just sound a whistle and say, please go back out. The match. So this happened. They rushed into the field, greeted their players, and continued. The match continued. That was the first half, 1-0 for Bangante. Bangante. Second half, John Kepner came in, not only as coach, as player. Wonderful. Then the match continued. That started again hot. I mean, it was very good football. Really good, hard football. You admire the players. John Kepner picked the ball, or somebody picked the ball, bam! The ball hit the bar, the transversal bar up there. Came back into the field, right the field. Another player gave a good header into the net. The match continued. So that was not the equalizer. The match continued again. A few seconds after that, one of the players of Bafang stood far, kicked the ball, bam, into the net. Appointed the center. The commission will not accept that one. Wonderful. So for me, as a referee, as a man who observes rules and regulations of the play, I was satisfied that a good goal had been scored. So with all that conscience, what I did, I pointed to the center, and I was moving to the center. At a given time, I noticed that my shoe, the lace had got loosened. So I bent down in the field, to lace my shoes and tie them up.
Exactly.
You will not believe this, that by the time I lifted my head up, I had a big slap on the back of my head. Bang! My eyes turned. I just saw myself, my God, what is this? It was like a hammer on my head. And the sun was shining seriously. The heat. So I just saw, and as I was standing up, I saw the man again come with a second punch. I said, no. I told myself, Dr Aka, don't accept this one again. I blocked and I counterattacked. Bim! I gave him on the lips here, the lips tore down here into two. He came, but then I came again, I gave him one, he fell down. Then some other players came in, another player came and said, no, mate, I'll help you. I said, no, I don't want any help. All of you stand on the other side. So we started there. Then, police always come in a village.
Yes.
It was when the guy was crawling on the floor and I was standing there now, but I took position. I said, anybody wants to come in, let him come. Before you finish me, I would have finished a few of you. So the police now came, surrounded, took him out the bank and said, tu vas me tuer aujourd'hui. You see, I said, I didn't come to kill you. But if you attack me, I'm going to revenge. I'm going to counterattack. So after that, they took him, and that was towards the match ended. They took him to hospital, and then the police guided him out. The population was saying, whoa. We stood there and went out. That is one of the hottest
that you had.
Yes.
Exactly.
Another moment too was in Yaoundé, where Canon was playing the Pirates of Orlando in South Africa.
Yes, Orlando Pirates.
Wonderful. That was a hot game because Orlando Pirates would not accept that Canon was a team which was making so much name in Africa.
Exactly.
So we had among that team, the Pirates team, a Congolese who had grown up in South Africa, who spoke French, was a winger.
Yes.
He was playing well. But the point is that he was so indisciplined. If he sanctioned his colleague, he will come to the referee and insult you. You do this, he will protest. His coach too was indisciplined. The coach would want to come into the field to shout at the referee. Was first disturbing my linesman. Shouting, linesman will call me up, I'll go and warn the man and say, you will soon go out. Before I reach the coach, that player was already there, telling me that stop that rubbish. If you do it, I'll beat you up. He was speaking in English.
Yes.
And insulting other players in English because he believed that they didn't understand English.
Correct.
I say, if you continue, you will leave the field. And then tell your coach to behave himself, to stop insulting my linesman and stop shouting to the field against the referee. I don't know where people have learned that one, but that's not football culture.
And he continued all through the match.
After that, what happened is that I first went to the coach when my linesman called me up again, that the coach had insulted him and then even pushed him. I just send the coach. At that time, we could not give cards.
Yes.
But I called the secretary and said, take this man
Take
out.
the man out.
So at the man going out, this player left the downside of the field, rushed across to me, and then came with a punch to give me. When he came up with a punch, and I threw down the whistle, and I stood, waiting that he should move. The whole field was shouting. I can remember Mr. Jean Labena shouting up there, no, don't do that with him. We don't do that here with him. He's dangerous. Don't. So this boy did not know me. he just said small referee
Yes.
in front of him and believe he could do everything. But when I stood and I looked at him in the eye, as I wanted him to advance, to take the boss, you know, normally in karate, you have got to defend.
Yes.
You don't attack.
You don't attack.
Yes, and a big master like me, you know, who was German champion, who is being trained by Japanese, black belt, F degree, so you don't abuse it. So I was waiting for him. I said, no, at least I will teach him a small lesson. If he attack, I was waiting if he cross a certain line ahead of me. Then he came and stood. When he saw me stand and face him and look at him, he's saying something. He takes that man, started moving backwards. Then I also moved. Then people say, watch out, watch out.
Don't try it with that referee.
Don't try it. That moment he came in and then moved. It was after the match when they told him whom I was. Then they told me how I was waiting there, that he thanked his God in the dressing room. That he didn't do what he came in to do. I'll give another example where matches are hot. Where as a referee, you don't take time. They can even kill you.
Yes.
There's a match just before the World Cup in '84 in America, if I'm not mistaken.
94.
94. Thank you very much. That's your domain. In America, Tone is playing against Canon in the field here on a very tough, difficult match. As usual, I do my best not to cheat. That's what saved me, and that's what has given me, the good name till today. I wasn't perfect in no way, but I did my best. So the match starts up, continue. Very hot, big match. Son was, I don't know where he was the captain, but was the defender of Tone, on the right side of the field. Then there's a player after the first half, a player of Canon was coming down with the ball. The player of Canon was coming down with the ball on the left side of the field, and he made some this way. So some tackled him. Some has a sliding tackle where he goes on his buttocks with his both feet towards the player. He went with his buttocks, sliding on buttocks with both feet on the player. But then, unfortunately, that's against the rule. He took up his legs towards the knees of the player. The rule says you can do that sliding tackle as long as your feet are on the ground. Don't lift them up. But when you lift your feet up, it becomes dangerous. But you can break his tibia. You can break his knees, or even get into his stomach or his sexual part. So he took up his knees, pumped into that guy's stomach. The guy fell down there. I didn't hesitate. It was red card. I give red card to the players first come to me, and may his soul rest in peace. The president, Esomai Eyenga, he leaves the tribune, come down to the field to beat me. Comes in, I was discussing when he came, he said, that small anglophone, where is he? May his soul rest in peace. Where is he? Let me show him that you don't do that here in Yaoundé. He moved towards me, coming to fight. I saw him running. There's one psychology in fighting. When you see somebody who is angry and who believes that he can do and undo with you, when the person is coming towards you with all furiousness, with all fury, you move towards him at the same time. You'll be embarrassed. Because the psychology is that if you start running, you will say, I've got you. He will start following you up and make a big name.
So if someone was coming and you were set?
Yes, as he was coming, I saw him coming furious. I was set. As he was coming, I started moving towards him. That's the psychological distance. So when we came to a certain distance, he stopped, I also stopped. We looked at each other. So I said, but what have you come to do? What are you doing there? Is that refrain? Is that how they talk to you in West Cameroon?
And how did that end up?
No, we looked at each other. I told him, this might just go you back up. I've applied only the rules and regulations. So the people came, separated the so-called fight, took him back up, and I went back to the field and continued.